Well, good evening folks, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot, back with you again. Welcome to the first of this week's review videos. Where are we? Well, we're in Egypt, in the African continent, and this is Cairo International Airport in Egypt, Hotel Echo Charlie Alpha. This is a new payware scenery from TAIMODELS, and you're looking at version 1, the release version for Flight Simulator 2020. The download is 1.6 gig and it installs at 2.52 gigs. It's currently available from 3 vendors. You can get it from SimMarket, Orbix or Inibuilds. Not a lot of difference between the prices when you add VAT. I'll give you the SimMarket price, currently trading for €25.79, which equates to roughly $28.16 US or £22.17 UK. Those prices are estimates from the euro, and they include tax or VAT at 20%, which of course could vary depending on your country of purchase, wherever you are when you happen to make the purchase of this product. Quite an extensive product, as you can see, 2.5 gigs, quite a lot in here. And the airport's been modelled very accurately, including all 3 runways. Lots to see and enjoy here. Let's look at the features. So features, we have handmade detailed PBR ground markings and textures according to the most recent airport situation. Handmade realistic terminals, cargo buildings and airport buildings using the Flight Simulator 2020 PBR materials. Realistic airport lighting, taxiways, aprons optimized for performance on most types of systems, so that'll be interesting to see actually. And custom jetways, and you'll see the jetway test coming up shortly. So let's have a look at some history. So history, Cairo International Airport, Hotel Echo Charlie Alpha, is a public use international airport owned by the Egyptian Holding Company for Airports and Air Navigation. The airport is operated by the Cairo Airport Company. The airport serves the city of Cairo and is the largest and busiest airport in Egypt. It serves as the primary hub for Egypt Air and Nile Air, as well as several other airlines. The airport is located in Heliopolis, to the northeast of the city of Cairo and around 9.2 miles or 15 kilometers from the city's business district. The airport is huge, covering an area of 14 square miles or 37 kilometers squared, and is the busiest airport on the African continent. During World War II, the United States Army Air Forces, or the USAAF, built John Payne Field Air Force Base to serve the Allied forces rather than take over the existing Al-Maza Airport located some 3 miles or 5 kilometers away. Payne Field was a major air cargo and passenger hub, connecting westwards through Benghazi to Algiers on the North African route to Dakar Airport in French West Africa. After the war ended, routes to Athens and other destinations in Europe were added. When American forces left the base at the end of the war, the Civil Aviation Authority took over the facility and began using it for international civil aviation. In 1963, Cairo International Airport replaced the old Heliopolis Airport, which had been located on the east of Cairo. Terminal 1 is the oldest terminal currently in operation, having been inaugurated in March 1963 by President Gamal Abdel Nasser. Over the years, the terminal has undergone several expansion projects, with a second hall being constructed in 1977-79 and a third one completed in 1980. In the early 2000s, work commenced on the renovation of the ground floor, along with the addition of an expanded departure hall. All phases of the project were completed by the end of 2003. The airport actually has 4 terminals, the third and largest opening in April 2009, and the seasonal flights terminal opening in September 2011. Terminal 1 was originally used by Egypt Air and several Middle Eastern airlines. However, an increasing number of other foreign carriers, such as Air France and KLM, transferred their operations to Terminal 1 in 2006. Terminal 1 features a Departure Hall 1, International Hall 3 and Hall 4 for private and non-commercial flights. Hall 3 was demolished at one point and a new hall for international arrivals was constructed. Terminal 2 was inaugurated in 1986 with 7 boarding gates and primarily served European, Gulf and East Asian airlines. The terminal was renovated in 2012 and now operates jointly with Terminal 3 as one of the integrated terminals via an air bridge. In 2004, construction began on Terminal 3 with operations commencing in 2009. Twice as large as the current 2 terminals, Terminal 3 can handle 11 million passengers annually. Along with the flag carrier EgyptAir, all Alliance Airlines relocated to the new terminal in August 2009. The Mini Metro People Mover links Terminal 1, the Air Mall, the multi-storey car park and Terminals 2 and 3. The main station is located between Terminals 2 and 3 and is an integral part of the bridge connecting the 2 terminals. An air-conditioned 1.5 mile or 1.85 kilometre system with a top speed of 31 miles an hour or 50 kilometre hours moves people safely between the locations. Currently some 62 airlines operate into and out of Cairo Airport along with 8 cargo operators. So there you go folks, that's some history, a really large airport that's gone through some major expansion since World War II. So let's look at runways now. Okay, so runways, as you can see, we've lowered the lighting a little bit. It's now 6:30 in the evening, local time. Cairo Airport operates 3 runways. Runway 05 right, 23 left is the longest, measuring 13,123 feet or 4,000 meters. Runway 05 center, 23 center, comes next and measures 13,120 feet or 3,999 meters. Finally, runway 05 left, 23 right comes in at a length of 10,830 feet or 3,301 meters. The airport lies at an elevation of 467 feet or 142 meters and sits within the GMT UTC plus 2 hours time zone. Now Egypt, like many countries, does indeed observe daylight saving time or DST. And with both Egypt and the UK advancing 1 hour ahead onto DST, Cairo Airport remains 2 hours ahead of the UK. So let's start with 05 right, 23 left. We're looking down the throat of 05 right now. Now both ends of this runway feature high intensity runway lighting, high intensity airfield lighting system version 2, centerline lighting, touchdown zone lighting and precision approach path indicators on both sides of the runway. And as we can see here, they've got everything right, except they've added, or they've left in the scenery, whichever seems to have happened. We've got runway and identifier lights, which are not on the chart, but are here in the scenery. And as I've said before, anything else that is added really that helps you make a safe landing, I'm totally in favour of. But apart from that, everything else is there. Approach lighting system is correct. Centre line there, where you've got touchdown zone lighting, PAPIs on both sides. And it's all as indeed it should be. So let's have a quick look at the other end, 23 left. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 23 left, the other end, and as you can see, exactly the same. Approach lighting, centerline lighting, touchdown zone lighting, PAPIs on both sides, and again with the addition of runway end identifier lights. So this end is exactly the same as the other end. Approaches, again both ends feature instrument landing system and they're both ends certified for category 2 low visibility operations. And you also have an RNAV approach option here too for this runway. So let's now go and have a look at runway 05 center. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 05 center. Now again, this runway, both ends of this runway, 05 center, 23 center, features high intensity runway lighting, high intensity airfield lighting system version 2, centerline lighting, touchdown zone lighting, and again PAPIs on both sides of the runway. And again, as you can see, it's all as per the chart, with the exception of, again, if they've added or left in from the default scenery the runway and identifier lighting system. Approach lights are there as per the chart, touchdown zone lighting here, centerline, it's all good. Quick look at the other end, 23 center. And here we are looking at the other end of this runway, runway 23 center. And again, as you can see, as per the charts and as it says, exactly the same as what they have at the other end. Approach lighting is correct. You can just see the runway end identifier lights that have been added, but you've got centerline, touchdown zone and the PAPIs, and the lighting is correct as per. So approach is available for this runway, and again at both ends we have an instrument landing system, again certified for category 2 low visibility operations. You have an RNP approach, and this time you also have a VOR approach option. Again, this is both ends of the runway, 05 center, 23 center. So now let's quickly have a look at 05 left, the third runway. So here we are looking down the front of the throat of runway 05 left. And we have high intensity runway lighting, high intensity airfield lighting system, the standard version this time. Centerline lighting and PAPIs on both sides of the runway. No touchdown zone lighting indicated in the charts, but actually they have it. There you can see touchdown zone lights, and again you've got runway end identifier lights in the scenery, which neither of which these items are listed on the current approach chart. But as I've said, no complaints, everything helps you to land, got no problem with that at all. So finally a quick look up at the other end, 23 right. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 23 right, and yep, just everything as per. The runway lighting, airfield lighting, centerline lighting and the PAPIs on both sides. The only difference here is once again you have touchdown zone lighting and runway end identifier lights added. The difference is really at this end there's a short approach lighting system. It's not as big as this, so what they've done is they've simply added this approach lighting system from the other runways, rather than on the chart it's a much shorter one. As you can see here, it extends right into buildings and various other bits of infrastructure here landside. It should really stop about here. As you can see, this photoground image here, the runway short lighting should stop about here. So there you go, that was runways for you. Everything's pretty much correct with one or two additions, and the only real anomaly is that the short approach lighting system here, it should be the shorter version rather than the one you're seeing here. And finally, approaches into this runway. Again, both ends have an instrument landing system, this time the standard instrument landing system. And again, you have an RNP and a VOR approach option. So that's runway 05 left, 23 right completed. So there you are, those are the runways, that's how it all plans out, and navigation's all pretty much as it should be with one or two additions. So now let's do the jetway test. Okay, jetways, so here we are on stand Foxtrot 3, Terminal 3. I've spawned straight from the menu. This is the Phoenix Airbus A320, the IAE engine variant in my airline colours. So I literally spawn onto the stand. We've connected the tug to give the jetway as much room as possible. Visually, jetway looks great. You can see it's all fully weathered and looks wonderful. It really does. The only sort of slight niggling thing is the wheels are slightly outside the red area. They should be within. But anyway, here we go. Let's connect the jetway, see how it works. So a good motion. It's actually quite a good animation from what I can see here. It's a beautiful looking jetway. The stairs are raised up quite nicely, so they're unlikely to go into the concrete. The wheels are pointing in the right direction, which is good. Now it lowers down to the door. Right, the wheels need to fully turn a bit really, but it's close. It's pretty good. Animation wise, that's pretty impressive. There we go. Right, now let's go up and see how good the connection is. So that looks pretty impressive. There's a slight gap at the bottom, really nothing quite to write home about. And the hood looks pretty good as well. I think it's gone into the skin, but not by much. Let's check the other side. So there's a view from the other side. It looks quite impressive actually. It doesn't look too bad at all. Let's go inside now and see what it looks like. So there's the view from the inside of the jetway looking into the aircraft. As you can see, the door's pretty good. It doesn't appear to have impinged the hood. It looks pretty good actually. And there's the door fully open inside the jetway, and actually the jetway, the hood hasn't gone through the aircraft. Hasn't at all, it's actually sit perfectly. I hesitate to say it, but this looks to be the best jetway connection I have seen in all of 500 videos. Considering I spawned straight from the stand onto, or straight from the menu onto the stand, haven't looked at the markings, we'll have a look at that in a minute. But as you can see there, okay, the floor is a little bit low and there is a slight gap. So it's not 100%, but it's about 99%, that's pretty impressive. And here you can see it covers the aircraft, but it doesn't infringe it. That's pretty impressive for a jetway spawning straight out the box. So there's the view from inside the aircraft looking towards the jetway, and here you can see, I mean, the floor texture is really good. This is all weathered and beaten, like it's been around a while, and the doorways here, I mean, it looks really impressive, it really does. Okay, so let's disconnect the jetway. Doors close, hood springs back. Okay, the wheels are a little bit here and there, but the animation is pretty good, even right down here, the area that you don't sort of notice very much. But looking at the whole thing, the only thing that stops it being 100% really is the wheels don't fully go. I mean, look, we're still outside the red area. The wheels they turn, but they don't turn properly with the flow of the jetway. And when the jetway connects, it's just a little bit below the doorway. But those are the only things I can find, and to be honest, they're niggles really. In terms of the jetway, the way it looks and the way it connects to the aircraft, it's nearly perfect. It's one of the best I've seen, so hats off to TAIMODELS for that. So there we go, that was a jetway test for you. Let's get down and dirty to the airport itself proper, and let's see what we've been given to look at here. Okay, so here we are at Cairo. We're going to start the main tour. Given the size of this project and what's included, I'm going to concentrate on the central area and the buildings and let you have a close look, and we'll look at the quality. And then as the sun goes down to dusk, we'll look at the runways and taxiway signs as well, and see how we go from there. So here we go, and you can see the quality of the buildings and the ground markings just from this close-up shot here. There's a sign on the side of that building there. We've got photo ground here, but actually it's of a decent resolution, so it doesn't look too bad at all. Kind of fits in. Ground markings, taxiway markings, additional stands here. Just going to come across this way. As you can see, there's loads of detail. It looks really nice. It takes a little getting used to some of this low resolution ground, but you know, generally it works. It seems to work out quite well. I'm quite happy with it. And there you can see the quality of the building, and the you know, the design work is really good. So here we come into some of the Terminal 3 stands. There are VDGS systems there, but I don't think they work. See, it looks good, but it's just a pity that the markings on the ramp area, certainly the wet areas, are such low resolution. Doesn't really kind of look right. Takes a little getting used to. But as you can see, I mean, it looks really good. It's a big project. Here we're just having a quick look landside here, and from what I can see, the cars are in their slots, nothing's missing. And the building looks really good. Certainly even up here on the roof. There's a lot of work gone into this. There you've got some of the road signs on the landside area, which we'll look at shortly. So here we're coming up to Terminal 2. And again, some nice work here. Stands look good. And generally the work looks really good. It really does. Very nice indeed. So a quick look at some other buildings here. You got this 747 down here. Just swinging landsides. A lot of signage and 3D work that's gone in here as well. There's a railway station. I wonder if there's a moving train. It looks fine, it really does. Nicely done. Very nice. So here we are, we look at some of the other hangars and outer buildings that have been added as part of the airport. And again, it's nice. Decent level of detail. I just think, to be honest, I just think the low resolution photoground just kind of spoils it a bit. But you can't get away from the fact that there's a lot of work here and lots of things that have been added. You're spoiled for choice, whether you're an airline transport pilot, a GA pilot, commercial, or a helicopter pilot. So let's have a look at the control tower. It's a nice building, it is really nice. Now there from the outside you can see there is interior development, so let's pop in and have a look. So yep, it's done, it's very nice. You got some screens, some chairs, it's been partially developed, but again, no controllers, no people, which is a pity, but anyway, that's what they've decided to do. And there we are looking out across the airfield, and you can see the stairs that go down presumably to an elevator. Wouldn't want to walk upstairs to this tall building. Right, there's the people mover. So here comes the people mover. It goes pretty quick, it doesn't stop at the station, which is a pity. But all in all, that looks pretty nice. Okay, so a very quick look at the stand where I'm parked. This is Foxtrot 3, you can see. I mean, it looks great. It really does. The only thing that spoils it, in my opinion, is this low resolution ground photoground here. It really does kind of spoil it, in my opinion. Everything else is fine. The roads are done in 3D. The beautiful building here. Jetways look excellent. We've even got a couple of people around, which is good, and you've got the fuel Bowser fuel connectors here. Well, the stand itself looks great. You've got the quality of the JETWAY there, beautifully weathered and nicely done. Unfortunately, as I said before, the wheels should be kept here within the safe area. But really no complaints about all this at all. It's just the ground resolution is so low, it just kind of, I find it off-putting. It's a real pity. Should have been done better. So let's have a look inside the building here and see what we've got, if any. There is some development. And there we are, we've got a couple of people. And that looks nice. And it does look nice as well looking out through the glass. And there's a nice view as well. So this particular part's been done pretty nicely. So this is landside. Here's the car park. Let's have a quick look at landside of this main terminal. And there you can see there's internal development. So a quick tour of the landside here. A real pity that we've got no vehicles, no people, nobody coming up to the airport landside to go on in and check in, and you know. But yeah, no problem with the modelling. Oh, we've got somebody walking across the bridge there. So we've got one or two little animations. There she goes. And there you've got the road that goes to the upper level. And there's an overview of what we just passed. We've got these rocks there and some animated flags. And there we've got some people walking outside the terminal. Let's go and have a look. Well, we didn't see that before. And of course, let's go inside. Now this is better. There's your departure security check. People are there. One or two animations. Very nice. Much better. Yeah, it looks nice. Got a chap there taking a picture of his lady. And we have a slow look down here. It's good. It's some nice people here and some nice little animations. Nothing fantastic, but it's been nicely done. Landside inside the terminal. Very nice. If you're interested in this kind of thing, and I am, because Flight Simulator 2020 gives us the ability to show all this now. I mean, it's great. So like some airports around the world, what you've got here is a security check before you get to check-in, basically to make sure you don't bring anything into the terminal. And again, check-in looks nice, but unfortunately there's nobody here, unlike landside. There's nobody at the check-in desk that I can see here. But again, nicely detailed. Very nice indeed. So here's the lower level, and there's a chap walking outside. And it looks fine. It looks really fine. So here's the flight board, which is quite blurred, unfortunately. You also have to be really careful if you're going to be manoeuvring inside the terminal. If we back away from this board, as you can see, we get bumped. We're now on the upper level, so there are some building issues here. But all in all, landside looks really nice. Okay, so that was a good look at the central area. Now let's lower the light down and see what it looks like at dusk, and have a look at the taxiways and other signage, and just generally how it looks in the evening. Okay, 7 PM local time, and as you can see the lights came on about 5 minutes ago, and generally from this view you can see there's adequate lighting. We have green centerline lights, blue airfield edge lights. The taxiways look pretty good. Can't see much in the way of signage from up here, but it will probably look better as we get closer. So we'll start with runways and taxiways. So we've got some small signs. There you've got runway markings are pretty good. Here's one of the main runways. And you can see you've got green lights leading you on and off. This is one of the high-speed exits. And you've got the concrete shoulders as well on the runways too. Here you've got more signage. So here you've got the entrance to 05 Centre, 23 Centre. There should be some red runway signs here either side, but they're missing. Again, I've not been to Cairo Airport, so I don't know if they're missing from the real airport. But generally, every access to a main runway has the red warning signs either side denoting the runway. Sometimes they have wigwags or runway guard lights, but here they haven't even got the signage. There's a close look at one of the signs. As you can see, it's into the concrete on a plinth, and here you've got the blue airfield edge lights. I mean, these look really good. And again, you've got this very different type of centerline green light here that sits on top of the concrete and looks quite nice. It really does, and it works. So here's the approach to one of the runway 05 here. 05 Centre. You've got the markings and you've got the stop bars, but again you've got no runway warning signs other than what's marked in the concrete. There should be red signs either side of the runway. So let's tour the central area here and have a look at the lighting generally. Well, the stand lighting, as you can see, is not bad at all really. There's my aircraft on Foxtrot 3. And there you can see parallaxing below, and you've got the interior here, which is nicely lit, but that looks a bit weird. It looks like the lighting has completely destroyed the colouring on the seats and the couches. I don't know why. But here you can see the stands look pretty good. I mean, the lighting's not bad at all. It's provided by the high level lights there, and there's enough for you to find your way. So while we're here, here's the view from the flight deck. It's dusk. I'm in the Phoenix Airbus A320, the IAE engine variant, with my airline livery. We're powered up, and this is the view you get when you park up and set the brakes. There's a view from the captain's side, and looking across from the first officer's window. Very impressive, no problems at all. So let's continue our little tour across the central area. I mean, some of the lighting is really lovely. I mean, look at that purple sort of lighting over the roof there. Here we're coming across to Terminal 2. And I just wanted to show you that sign before we continue. And you've got this beautiful sort of ultraviolet kind of glow, which looks great. As you can see, parallaxing in the place of actual inside development, although some of the interior is developed, as you can see. And we cross over the top. and more internal development for you to explore and have a look at. So cargo area below us, let's go and have a closer look at the tower, as again you've got this beautiful sort of ultraviolet lighting, radars on the top, and again it looks nice inside. You have the mandatory red lights which are required for any structures over 300 feet, and your radars going along too. And as you can see, it looks great. They've done a nice job. In terms of subtle lighting, it looks wonderful. And there you've got departure halls that are properly marked. It's really nice. Many airports really come to life in the darkness hours, and this one's no exception. And this, I think, is the VIP building. Looks all rather special and ornate there. And again, you've got some wonderful work here. We've got some people landside there walking around, which is good. Try and slow this down a little bit. There's so much to see and enjoy here. And again, more development for you to look at. And as you can see, lots to look at. Really is very nice indeed. They've added all the appropriate features that exist at this airport. There you've got signage as well. Now I want to see if the animated train is lit. So again, you've got buildings here where you've got parallaxing, and the parallaxing is of a pretty good quality here. This, I think, is a hotel. So here we're at the station, and here comes the train. Which doesn't appear to be lit, which is a pity. Could have done with that being lit. But as you can see, a couple of overview shots here from high level. The airport is nicely lit. There's the central area with the main terminals. It really does look good. So let's turn it down to night time. Okay, 10 PM local time, and as you can see the lighting has come up a bit actually. It's a good overview here, showing you the lighting and how it looks. Let's start with the ramp where we're parked. So as you can see, no problems at all. It looks pretty good. The ramp lighting has come up slightly. And there's a shot looking across the stands, the Foxtrot stands here on Terminal 3. I mean, it looks great, it really does. Quick look from the cockpit. Not much change, but this is what you'll see when you pull up at the night time. Captain's side. And first officer side. So a little tour landside here. As you can see, there's plenty of signage. They have done a lot of work. Parallaxing looks really good on that building there. So here we're just going to have a look at the drop-off side here, and you've got at least one or two people walking around as well. And this looks, I mean, it looks beautiful, doesn't it? It just could do with a few more people, a couple of taxis maybe, dropping off some passengers. And there you can see there's partial interior there to the left. It's great. It really is good. So once again, looking at nighttime landside of the other building, it really does look nice. And there you can see interior work. People going across the bridge there. I like it a lot. It's very nice. And there's another high level shot, and actually you can just see the animated train going along there, because the lighting does reflect off the red vehicle itself. It's just a pity it's not lit. But yeah, really nice during the darkness hours. Another great looking airport when the sun goes down. So let's bring up the dawn, and hopefully I'm in the right position to see the red glow as the dawn comes up. Okay, 5:20 in the morning, and here you can see the red glow as the sun begins to rise in the east behind us. And it looks pretty good considering the colouring of these buildings. It's come up really well. And then looking to the northeast, there's the control tower in front of us. Sun's coming up on the right hand side. Yeah, it's it's an airport and it looks good. It really does. And there to the right here you can see the people mover, because now the sun is catching it. Like I said, it would be nice to have it lit, particularly in the darkness hours. It would just add to the ambience. But they've got it in the scenery, and that's a plus. Okay, 8 AM and time to give you my thoughts and conclusions. Firstly, do I like the scenery? Yes, I do. I mean, it's Cairo Airport at its best. It's a huge improvement over the default. I believe there's a freeware on flightsim.to. I'm not sure, can't remember. But no, certainly this is the best you can get. You want Cairo the best, this is it. What do I like about it? Loads of detail, everything down to the signage, both landside and airside. They've done a little bit of internal development in the departure lounges. There's various bits for you to explore. I haven't showed you it all. There's lots to look at. From a pilot's point of view, everything you need is here, whether you come in during the day, at the dusk, or night time, or dawn. Lighting on the stands is adequate. Finding your way around shouldn't be too much of a problem, because you have green centerline lights, and providing you've got the airport chart, you can find your way to the stand quite easily. Buildings have been faithfully recreated. Detail is lovely. Another airport that looks really good at dusk. The lighting's quite subtle. They've added some really nice lighting in various places, and it looks really good. Do I think it's worth nearly €26? Well, it's on the high side, and it's probably just about worth that. €25.79 from SimMarket. As I said, it's available from Orbix and Inibuilds as well. Not an awful lot of difference when you add the VAT or the tax. But yeah, it's on the high side. I mean, I would be looking at maybe €21 including tax for something like this. But you have to remember, it's a huge airport, 3 runways, loads of buildings, and they've done everything on and off the airport too. Lots for you to explore that I haven't shown you in this video. So the prices, yeah, probably it's just about. And you've got lots of detail. It's a very nice airport, and yeah, I can't recommend it enough. If you want Cairo, it's another massive airport and location on the African continent. 777-300 flies in here for Egypt Air and for British Airways. So with the new PMDG 777 out, you're going to have fun going into a place like this. What are the cons? Okay, here's a couple of things really. I mean, you've got 1 or 2 terrain issues out here that probably need to be sorted out, but they won't affect you flying in. Taxiways and everything looks good. I find that the low resolution ground photo ground is a bit disturbing. Up here at this altitude you can see it looks great, but once you get down on the stand it looks a bit, it doesn't really work for me. It would have been better if they managed to do it at a higher resolution. and work on that. That's a bit of a pity, really. The other thing, the animated train, the animation is great, and they've got the train right. It's exactly right as you've seen in the picture during the history. The only problem is it's not lit. When you've got such a wonderfully lit airport during the dusk hours, you know, and you've got a train that's moving along that you can't see because it's not lit properly. It would have been nice to have that lit. But yeah, you know, and some of the runway signage, I'm not sure if it's missing intentionally or if it's just not at the airport. But normally you have red signage right at the entrance to the runways, and they're missing. But you know, these are little niggles that you can get by with from a pilot's point of view, flying in here and parking up and then flying out again. It's great. It's exactly as you want it, and it is the best. And you've got 3 runways to choose from, plenty of navigational aids. Navigational aids are all accurate, with 1 or 2 little additions. And yeah, it works. I like it, I really do. So there you are, folks. Cairo International Airport in Egypt. Hotel Echo Charlie Alpha. Paywarsini from TAIMODELS, who also did Manchester, you may remember. You're looking at version 1, the release version for the Flight Sim 2020 PC version. Download is 1.6 gig and installs at 2.52 gig. Available from a variety of vendors at the moment, including SimMarket, Orbix and Inibuilds. Give you the SimMarket price, which includes VAT and tax, €25.79, which equates to roughly $28.16 US, or £22.17 UK. As ever, those prices are taken from the euro and they include tax or VAT at 20%, which may be different depending on where you are when you make your purchase. No hesitation in recommending it. It's a highly detailed airport, certainly a big project, and they have done an awful lot. The low-res photoground scenery is a bit of a standout for me, but once you get onto the stands, I mean, it looks fine. And in terms of the quality of the simulator, what they've added, it looks really good, especially during the darkness hours. It's another really good airport that looks good at that time of the day. So yeah, no hesitation in recommending it. You could watch out for the sales. It might certainly drop in price in a little bit later on if you don't need it now. I've just purchased Detroit, Honolulu and New York JFK from Inibuilds for £9 each. It's about $11. They've got a sale on at the moment, so who knows, maybe this will come up in a sale. But yep, it's a great airport. I've got it. I bought this, by the way. I wasn't given it. I bought it, and I will fly in here. So there you go, folks. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching. If you've been on the fence about this, I hope it's helped you. There's a lot to see, quite a bit that I actually haven't shown you. But yeah, it's great. Thoroughly recommended. So stay tuned. Second video coming out later this week, hopefully all being well. We will be looking at Fort de France in Martinique, version 2, the new scenery version 2 by Tropical Sim. We're going to have a close look at that. Again, another destination for Air France in the 777-300, which you might want to look at. I want to see really how far Tropical Sim have come in their scenery skill capability. And version 2 is worth a look, so we'll have a look at that too. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for staying with this video. I hope you like it. Please like and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. It really helps me get my work out there. This is my way of giving back to the community. If you want to buy me a coffee, you can do that too. It's really cheap. I buy 40 to 50% of my sceneries when I review them. So anything you can do to help me would be great, and it's really appreciated. So thanks again, guys. Have a great week. I'll see you in the next video. This is Lee, your virtual airline pilot, saying thanks for joining me, and bye for now.